What's good everyone, SHURIT here. So today I'm bringing you guys a Demise ritual deck profile. Initially I really didn't care about these cards, I'm going to tell you the truth. When they were announced at the same time as the Incantation monsters. The Incantation monsters kind of overshadowed them. They were so good, they were generic, you could put them in any ritual deck. The minute I saw them I was like, NEKROZ, they're gone in NEKROZ. Didn't pay much attention to these new Demise cards. I even uploaded a subscriber duel against this Demise deck and I still didn't pay any attention to it. But now after watching a Farfa video, yeah I know I watch a lot of Farfa videos, but after watching a Farfa video where he opened a box that had these cards in them, I saw that they were all rares and super rares, and I kind of got the gist of even Konami don't care about this deck. But of course they are still part of the hashtag ritual master race. So I sat down for a couple of hours and played around with the ratios, I played around with different engines, and I have, in a way, in my opinion, I've tried my best and I have perfected the deck to the best I can get it to. If you guys have any suggestions, please tell me in the comment section down below. And if you've watched this far, which you better have watched this far because I'm literally only 1 minute into the video, give me a hashtag ritual master race in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So first up, we play one copy of Demise, Supreme King of Armageddon. Now Demise Supreme King of come on, sure, English. Demise Supreme King of Armageddon. He's kind of like your decisive armor, like your Cyber Angel of Rosh, like your big beater guy. If he was a level 8 rather than a level 10, I think it would make life a lot easier. But he is a level 10, so most of the time you're going to be summoning him by tributing the 2 Devi Ritual or the 2 Incantation monsters off your field. I think one copy is enough. If you have more than one, you are prone to bricking. You will summon the normal Demise more often than this guy. This guy is kind of like, okay, I'm summoning this guy, I'm going for game. I'm going to push for game. I'm going to blow up the field. He's going to take a bunch of damage. He's going to get attacked directly. This guy is your most powerful play. This is the guy you go into when you want to win the game. Not really the same concept with the next card, which is Ruin, Supreme Queen of Oblivion. Now with Ruin, you kind of summon her once you're already winning, rather than with Demise, which you summon to win. You summon this when you're already winning to kind of push for game. This card is decent. It doesn't really have a destructive effect. The protection effect it offers, which is ritual monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects, is really good, because if you activate Demise's effect, she won't be destroyed, which is obviously amazing because you don't really want to be destroying your ritual monster after you went to all that effort to try and summon it. Its other effect, which is if all monsters used to ritual summon this card were ritual monsters, it can make a second attack during each battle phase. Is really annoying because it's really hard to summon her by just tributing ritual monsters. You have to have the cards you have to have in your hand are really weird. Like you have to have a mini one and a big one. It makes life hard, so a lot of the time you're not going to get the effect. I wish Konami would just let her attack twice rather than putting that restriction on her, and I get why this deck isn't like top tier because of these restrictions, but we got to try, guys. On this channel it's kind of like we're kind of casual mindset, and we try our best to make these casual decks as good as possible to have as much fun as possible, because at the end of the day, Yu-Gi-Oh is a game. You want to have as much fun as possible. So Ruin, Queen of Oblivion, it has that Flame Wingman effect as well, where it deals damage to opponent equal to destroy monster's original attack, which is obviously decent if you want to push for game, of course. Next up, 3 copies, yep, you're hearing this right, 3 copies of Demise King of Armageddon. We played this because we played pre-prep and because this is like the main ritual monster. You'll notice once I get more into the deck profile that we're not playing as many ritual monsters as you would normally play in a ritual deck. So I think the 3 copies of Demise King of Armageddon is really important, because a lot of the time you're going to be tributing another copy of Demise to summon a Demise as well. That's just how the deck kind of works. It is hard when you have to play around with levels and stuff, because the ritual spells, in my opinion, all 3 of them are a little bit dodgy, to be honest, but we have tried our best to get around that, guys, and I hope you guys do appreciate my efforts with that. But 3 copies of Demise King of Armageddon. The fact that it's not once per turn as well, you know, Supreme King, he's once per turn, destroy all cards in the field and then damage, of course. With Demise, it's 2,000 life points, bang, and the field is gone. I hope you guys get the reference there, but yeah, you pay 2,000 life points and bang, the field's gone. You can keep on doing that over and over again. So if you destroy your opponent's monster, then it activates an effect and your opponent gets to special summon something. No big deal, just pay another 2,000 life points and that monster's gone as well. So I absolutely love Demise, and I'm really happy that he's got new support as well. I liked Demise originally, but then when the new cards were released, I didn't pay too much attention because of the Incantation monsters. Anyways, enough about that. Next card, we play 1 copy of Demise Fiend of Armageddon. I think 1 copy is enough, to be honest. More than 1 copy bricks, and I'm not playing Preparation of Rites for that reason. The fact that Preparation of Rites can only search out Demise and the mini Ruin as well, the mini Ruin Angel of Oblivion, which I'll get into later, means that it's not the best in this deck. As much as I love Prep, I had to give it up. So one copy is enough. If going first, you can use Ruin or Demise to summon a Baguska as well, which is obviously really good, because Baguska first turn is possibly the best play this deck kind of has going first. With this deck, you want to go second most of the time, because it's a ritual deck. You want to put your monsters on the field, you want to destroy your opponent's cards. Generally with ritual decks, you want to go second. That's just kind of how it is. And the next card, which I've already mentioned, is Ruin Angel of Oblivion. This card's good. The 2 attacks on monsters during the battle phase can come in clutch sometimes. Overall, it's a really solid card. Both mini Demise and mini Ruin have an effect when they're sent to the graveyard to kind of give your ritual monster protection, which is of course really good as well. Next up, guys, if you guys watch my replay video that I uploaded before this, which involves this deck, you guys will know who he is, but it's 3 copies of Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. I will give myself mad props for thinking of putting this guy in this deck, because it is absolutely amazing. It's another boss monster in the deck. The fact that it's at 3 is absurd, but you know, there's not many decks that can take advantage of him. I think that's why it's okay to keep him at 3. But this deck, if you have a Devi Ritual in your hand and if you have a BLS in your hand, you are rolling. You special summon your Devi Rituals, which one of them is a light, one of them is a dark. Sorry, incantations. I'll try to use the TCG name. So you special summon your incantations. One's light, one's dark. You get rid of them for a ritual summon. You can summon your big boy Demise, and then you get a Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning as well, which is so amazing. I love this card. You can summon it a lot of the time. You have half the deck is light, half the deck is dark. That's why you can take the full advantage, and you can use BLS to its full potential, and it's really a game changer, guys. It's still an amazing card all these years down the line. Next up is just the search power, guys. Pretty typical. 3 copies of Manju. I'm not explaining Manju, come on, it's a ritual deck. You search your ritual spells and monsters. Simple. Same concept with the next card, which is 3 copies of Senju. I will explain this a little bit. You guys may be thinking, oh, sure, 3 copies of Senju. Normally, you don't play that many Senjus in other ritual decks apart from NEKROZ. Well, the thing is with this deck, you want to have as much searching as possible, because it does have a consistency problem sometimes. So once I put the 3 copies of Senju in, it did really improve the deck. And I am playing another engine. I'm sure you guys can guess what it is, because Senju's for normal summoning and Manju's for normal summoning. I did put in another engine which made the deck really good, so I will get into that later on, and you guys will understand why I played 3 copies of Manju and why I played 3 copies of Senju. Next up, we have 3 copies of Incantation Talismandra. Amazing card. You special summon it with the other incantation. You get a search. Same concept with the next 3 cards, which is 3 copies of Incantation Candle. Candle is amazing as well. They basically both do the same thing. The only annoying thing is you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck, so you can't really use them as link material. But I get why you can't do that, because they would be super broken and people would take super advantage of them. So it's actually good that Konami put that restriction on them. Respect to Konami there. And then next up, we play 1 copy of Gem Knight Garnet. I'm sure you know what I'm doing here. 1 copy of Trick Clown. Once again, you know what I'm doing. And here we go for the spell cards. 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion. Where's DZ when you need him? But seriously, guys, Brilliant Fusion is amazing in this deck. Not only does it put tribute fodder on your field, because you really do need the tribute fodder, because the ritual spells, they need like exact levels and stuff, which is annoying, as you guys know with NEKROZ. Not only does it do that, but it allows you to summon a Manju and a Senju in the same turn. So imagine you have a Brilliant Fusion, a Manju, a Senju, and a Devi Ritual in your hand. You get a search off the Devi Ritual, you get Seraph Knight and Trick Clown on the field, you get a search off Manju, and you get a search off Senju. Like, absolutely amazing, guys. This deck is really good, because even if Trick Clown you draw into it, you play a hell of a lot of light monsters, so it doesn't matter. The only bad thing, of course, with any deck that utilizes Brilliant Fusion is if you draw Garnet, but it's 1 card in 40 cards. Most of the time you're not going to draw it. When you draw it, it sucks. When you don't draw it and you draw the Brilliant Fusion, you're rolling. Simple. Right, next up for the ritual spell cards, I'm playing a 3-2-1 ratio. It's 3 copies of End of the World, the original End of the World. Same concept with Demise, the original Demise. We're playing 3 copies of Pre-Prep, so 3 copies of End of the World. In my opinion, End of the World may or may not be, I don't know, it seems like when I'm playing the deck that it's the best ritual spell compared to the 2 new ones. Because one of the new ones, it only lets you tribute from the field, and the other new one is a quick play spell card. It's not a ritual spell card, so you can't search it. So, End of the World, it's like it's a typical ritual spell. The only restriction it has on it is the levels have to be exact. That's the only thing I don't like. If the levels weren't exact, this deck would take it a little bit up. It would make it a little bit better. But the fact that it's not exact is annoying. However, 3 copies of it, I think that's the best ratio. I think that's the best way to play it, to be honest. I've tried playing more copies of the other ones, and you honestly just brick a lot of the time. But with End of the World, because it's kind of easier to use and it doesn't require much else, I think 3 copies is important. Next up, for the other ritual spell, I say ritual spell like that because it's a quick play spell, it's Turning of the World. Now, Turning of the World allows you to special summon the Ruin or the Demise from your hand or deck. The only issue with that is the Demise Supreme King and the Ruin Supreme Queen, they only count as the originals whilst they're in your hand, so you can't special summon them from the deck. The only card you can special summon from your deck is the original Demise. Once again, another reason for why we're playing 3 of the Demise, but you're allowed to special summon it from your hand as well, so that's fine. And you must also tribute ritual monsters from your hand whose total levels equal the level or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. So once again, another restriction on it because you can only tribute ritual monsters. Once again, another reason why we're playing the 3 Demise, and once again why the level 4 ritual monsters are important. Luckily it says equal or exceed. If it didn't say exceed, it would make life really hard because that means you couldn't summon the 2 big level 10 ones using it. But 2 copies of it is alright because the other one, the next card isn't the best, which is what's the TCG name for it, because right now it's saying Endless of the World on my screen here. Cycle of the World, that's it. 1 copy of Cycle of the World. Now with Cycle of the World, you have to tribute monsters from your field, only your field, which equal or exceed. Luckily it says exceed once again. If it didn't, it would make life really hard. The good thing about this, the one thing I like about this is the recovery effect. Like, it's called Cycle of the World, so it makes sense that it kind of cycles. You can shuffle this card into the deck, add 1 End of the World from your deck to your hand. Once again, I keep on saying once again, take a shot guys every time I say once again. Once again, another reason why you play End of the World. So you shuffle it into your deck, add an End of the World from your deck to your hand, then you can add any of the ritual monsters basically from your graveyard to your hand. So overall a decent card, but I think one copy of it is enough because it does cycle itself, as the name suggests. Next up, the card that I've already mentioned, 3 copies of Pre-Prep. With Pre-Prep, the only thing you can search is End of the World and the original. Once again, as I've been saying, why you play 3 End of the World and 3 of the original Demise. But yeah, 3 copies of Pre-Prep, it's good. It gets you what you need. It allows you to ritual summon. Simple. Unfortunately, Preparation Rites doesn't work very well in this deck as much as I love it. Next up, 1 copy of Monster Reborn because all the ritual monsters can be special from the graveyard. BLS can be special summoned from the graveyard. If your opponent has Ash in the graveyard and you suddenly have an urge to synchro summon, then you can synchro summon. I did put 1-2 synchros in the extra deck because we did have room for it. So Monster Reborn is a decent card. Like, we have room in the deck, why not play it? And then next up, honestly guys, I'm pretty sure I only played this card for the sake of using this meme. 3 copies of Evenly Matched, also known as X. Oh my god, I have overused the explosion meme into Oblivion. That Oblivion, you get it? We've overused the explosion meme into Armageddon, into Oblivion, guys. That's how much we've overused it. But Evenly Matched, my same concept with all ritual decks. You don't really want to be playing trap cards. You still want removal if your opponent has Annoying Negation or they have Floodgates or something on the field. So Evenly Matched is the card to use, to be honest. Also, I'm kind of associated with this card now. I have a deep connection with this card. I kind of have to play it. I do a duty to myself by playing this. If you guys want to put Ash or something else in there, you are more than welcome to, but I do recommend you keep the Evenly Matched in there because the X does come in clutch a lot. There we go, 2 for the price of 1 again. We keep on using it, guys. So that's it for the main deck. Once again, 40 cards. We always keep it at 40 cards because we're no pleb. We're no pleb who plays them 60 cards or 41 cards or 42 cards. We keep it consistent, guys. This ritual decks are really important when it comes to consistency. 40 card main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. The extra deck, it's not as important as normal extra decks, but there are a few cards in there which can come in clutch a lot of the time. Obviously, first card, 1 copy of Gem Knight's Wrath Knight. This card is important because you're playing the free Brilliant Fusion. Next up, you play 1 copy of Scarlight because, what do you call it? It's the level 8, and if your opponent has a tuner in the graveyard, then you can potentially make it by monster reborning their Ash or something and then synchro summoning. It doesn't happen too often. Most of the time it happens if you have a Brilliant Fusion in Monster Reborn. You activate Brilliant Fusion, summon Strath Knight, Monster Reborn their Ash and make Scarlight if you want. But I put it in there because we had space, and sometimes, you know, niche cards like that can win you the game. And then next one copy of Black Rose, same concept. You Monster Reborn, you get Ash, you tune it with your Monju or your Senju, and you blow up the field. Like, I know this deck blows up the field a lot, but if you haven't been blowing up the field enough, Black Rose, simple. Next up, rank 8, because if you get a BLS and your Demise on the field, then you can, then you can summon Hope Harbinger if you want to play it safe. So 1 copy of Hope Harbinger, 1 copy of Alsay, and then 1 copy of Heliopolis. Heliopolis is decent because you can destroy Devi Rituals. Obviously, after you summon the Heliopolis, you summon the Devi Rituals because they have restrictions on the extra deck. Then with you pop the Devi Rituals and you destroy your opponent's card, which are decent. And then next up, Baguska. This card's important as well because it's your going first play. If you can summon it going first, I do recommend you summon it because it does give you that kind of option. Whereas most of the time when you're going first, you're just normally going to set a card, or you're not really going to do much. You really do want to go second with this deck, and that's kind of where this deck does fall down. If you do have to go first, it can fall down a little bit. Next up, another rank 4, 1 copy of Castell. You know, the removal is important. And we're actually playing links in this deck because of the Brilliant Fusion. The Brilliant Fusion does allow you to play the links, so we play 1 copy of Topologic Gunpowder Dragon. I really love this card. I love the artwork of it. All the Topologic monsters, in fact, I really do like them. Same with the next card, 1 copy of Topologic Bomber Dragon. Once again, if you're kind of in a good position in the game, you have a Seraph Knight and some Monjus on the field, you want to make a Topologic Bomber Dragon, go for it. It can offer you, it can like kind of push you for game and make sure you win it. Same concept with the next card, which is 1 copy of BORRELOAD Dragon. I love BORRELOAD Dragon. The fact that it can't be targeted is really good against ABC Dragon Buster. I've seen ABC popping up here and there quite a bit. I don't, maybe it's getting popular. I don't know, maybe because of the Nightmare cards or because of something, but ABC's popping up here and there. BORRELOAD is really good against that. 1 copy of Decode Talker, you know, the original Link monster. Sometimes Decode Talker, enough attack points, push for game, what do you call it, protect your monsters, overall decent card. This next card, which is Nightmare Unicorn, you're probably thinking, sure, have you succumbed to the meta? No, we haven't. We're just playing a couple of Nightmare monsters. The removal that they offer is really cool as well. Unicorn's only a link too, so it's easy to summon as well. Same with the next card, which is Nightmare Phoenix. Phoenix, once again, getting rid of spells and traps. If your opponent sets that 1 spell and trap, if it's like a Solemn, or if it's like a Mirror Force or something that's going to stop you from winning the game, you obviously do want to get rid of it. And then finally, we play 1 copy of, I'm going to try and pronounce it here, Hip Hoshing. Oh my god, let me try again. Hip Hoshinigen. I don't care, I tried my best. I probably butchered it to hell, but Hip Hoshinigen, guys. 2 light monsters, makes your light monsters gain attack points. BLS goes to 3,500. He's already a beast, you might as well turn him into a god at that point. Blacklist the Soldier, god of the beginning. You might as well change him. If you have Hyperstar and BLS on the field, that is really cool. Well, Hyperstar is the OCG name. Hip Hosh. I don't even know why Konami decided to change it to that, but if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, target a light monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, so you can even recover your BLS. You can get Monjus or Senjus back. You can get your, your Ruin, Queen of Oblivion. You can get whatever you want back from the graveyard. You can get your Devi Ritual Candle. There's a lot of targets for it. So overall, solid card. So that's been it for the Demise Ritual deck profile. If you guys have watched this far, give me another hashtag Ritual Master Race in the comment section. So I want 2 of them from you. I hope you guys enjoyed it, of course. I love ritual decks. If you guys love ritual decks, do try this deck out. Do give it a chance, because it's not as bad as you guys think it would be. It's actually pretty decent. It has some amazing plays. BLS really does power up the deck a lot. The Brilliant Engine, everything's really cool about it. Please do try it out. This has been Shurit. Peace.